All right. Hey, how are we? Hopefully, you guys can hear me. I am not going to be before you long. I know I have not been live in a while, but I am here, right? I am live right now on Instagram. I'm also live on both my Facebook pages. If you're not following me on Facebook, definitely go to Heal Thy Body with Tanisha Shanee, or you can just look for Tanisha Shanee. Content is pretty much on both pages. So also live on YouTube. Hey YouTube. All right, guys. I'm here tonight. For those of you that do not know, I do have a book that I wrote in 2019. So this is not a brand new book, but God keeps sending me back to this book. Dear Single in Love, 8 Principles for the Woman Waiting for Her God-Ordained Purpose Mate. Now, this book says for women, but the topic that we're going to talk about tonight definitely applies to the guys as well. If you are watching this, please, please, please share, tag a friend who is a single, who might be struggling in their season of single, because I'm definitely telling you, this is the topic that many of us need. Now, if you are on TikTok, if you are on Instagram, if you are on Facebook, you have probably seen a lot of these videos that have been going around. And I'm telling you, a lot of these videos are aggravating me. They're aggravating me. Why are they aggravating me? Because they're painting this picture that dating is like super hard, that dating is like the worst thing out here. And I'm going to honestly say that a lot of the dating stories that I'm hearing a consistent pattern. Okay. What do you think the consistent pattern is? Anyone wants to, if you're following this, if you are watching the live, please hashtag replay. So I know that you were here with me also for the replay. If you notice the common theme that I'm seeing in a lot of these, in majority, I want to say about 95% of the videos that I am seeing with people that are online who are complaining about their dating experiences, they are saying that they're meeting everyone on dating apps. Okay? So that means that most of us are comfortable, or some people are very comfortable only meeting people on dating apps. And the reason why I was like really compelled to come online and talk about this was because like this morning I woke up, and after I just like prayed, set my day. I went on TikTok, and like back to back, it was like all these negative videos about dating, and I was just like, God, this can't be the way. Like, I know I have had bad experiences with dating. Um, and I have been sharing. So for those of you who are on especially on my YouTube community, you have probably seen some of my videos, my Dear Lord videos. My Dear Lord videos, I discuss my horrible dating experiences. And God even had to correct me about that. Because God was like, you're also adding to the negativity, right? So it's like, how do we help shift this mindset? Well, you start to share the positive things. No one is running online talking about their positive and amazing dates. They're only going online running when the dates are horrible. And I want to be a part of the wave of showing like everything doesn't have to be negative, right? Even if the person that you are dating you don't end up with, if you had a great date, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what made it great. Let's talk about how you met this person, right? Let's talk about all of those things. If we start to talk about the positive things, we will start to intentionally shift the atmosphere, right? We can't shift the atmosphere if we're only talking about the negative. Oh my, this person. So I want to talk about, like I said, in my book, Dear Single in Love, I talk about step out the land of familiar, aka step out of your comfort zone. So the first thing that I want to say is if you are always meeting someone and meeting your dates in one way, I want you to stop doing that and start meeting people in a different way. So like I said, if 95% of the people are meeting those on dating apps, then that means that the person for you or the people that you want to date might not necessarily be on the dating apps. So stop going onto the dating apps and start finding other avenues to start dating. A lot of Christians, okay? I have a lot of Christian followers. A lot of Christians are complaining. Oh, I met this man in the church, and the men in the church are right? They start complaining about the men in the church. Then that means that if you're only meeting people in the church, stop dating people only in the church. Start to look for other areas. Last example, it's a community of people that I follow and that I'm friends with. They date a lot of people at their jobs. They meet people. It's like they're working a big job and in a big system. So it's not like they're working with people that they see every day. It's maybe people that they see every week. So they're constantly meeting people at their job and dating people at their jobs. then that means that it's time for you to stop dating people only at your jobs. We got to start getting into the habit of finding new ways. Because if I'm only dating guys that I'm meeting on the dating apps and all they want is sex, they don't want to go on dates, they don't want a relationship, then that means that it's not that the dating pool is part of, it's just horrible, it's full of poop. It's not that. That means that I need to get out of that area and I need to start putting myself in another area. I need to start finding new ways to meet people. The guy that I am dating, I went outside. Okay. I went outside. I personally, my best friend and I, we went on Eventbrite, right? I'll give you guys the strategy. We both went on Eventbrite. We're going through, we're looking for events in our area. What events are coming up that we can go to? And we found this event. It's a pretty popular event in New York City. This is about the 7th year that they've been doing this particular event. She asked some of her coworkers. They were like, oh, yeah, that event was great. I met somebody there. It didn't work out. Oh, yeah, I met somebody there. And she actually has a friend who met her fiance there. And we were like, all right, cool. Again, positive and negative, but we didn't go in with the intention of we're going out here to look for a man. We went out there just saying, let's just make ourselves available. Let's position ourselves in a different arena, because we both were not seeing positive results. We were not seeing dating outcomes because we were on the dating apps. So now we went to this event. She got 4 numbers. I got 1. The one that I got happened to be a pretty decent person. Let me not say pretty decent. He's an awesome dude. And he actually wants to date. When I started to reflect on my dating habits of the past, the guys that I met in person, catch this, the guys that I met in person were more inclined to want to go out. So if I met them outside, not on the street, not at the supermarket, I met them at an actual event, they were more inclined to say, pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, let's go out. Want to go out for drinks? Want to go out to dinner? Want to go out to the movies? Like, and it was just like, wait, you did this in the past. This was a positive outcome. Why not continue on that path? So when I started to go out more, I was starting to see that there were more guys who I was meeting in the restaurants, at happy hour events, at the work events, happy hour events. Those were the gentlemen that wanted to go out more. So some of us are on dating apps, and you're with people who are sitting in their house. They're afraid to go outside. They don't want to go outside. They're looking for someone to come to their house, right? COVID is not as rampant as it was. I remember in 2020, in 2020, guys were like, nah, I'm not really safe. I don't feel comfortable. That was fine. But in 2022, we can go outside. We can go to the walk, go for a walk. We can go outside and go get some ice cream. Well, I'll get an icy. You get ice cream because I'm lactose. But we can go outside. But if you're only meeting guys on the dating apps or women on the dating apps, because I'm hearing that women are doing it too. Some women don't want to go outside. They just want you to come to their house, or they just want to come to your house. They want to use up your Wi-Fi. They want you to use up your heat when it was cold, right? So we don't know. So when you start putting yourself out there, you're going to start seeing a different outcome. So one thing I want y'all to do is do the opposite of what you have been doing, and do the opposite of what has not been working. So instead of you sitting in that saying, dating sucks, there's no good guys, there's no good women out there. No, you are constantly going to the same resource, and that resource is not yielding the results that you want. So if you're going to work and you're only dating people at work and it's not working out for you, stop. If you're going to church and you're only dating people that you're meeting at church, stop. If you're going on dating apps, stop. Now, if you're always meeting people, and I think I say for like big cities like New York City, I don't really know about Atlanta. Like New York City, we're more of a walking city. So we can tend to walk outside. Be careful, be mindful, because there could be guys driving, but I don't mean because he has a car that he wants to take you out. He could still want to pick you up and just do a little bit of things with you. You know what I'm saying? So just be cautious and be mindful about your surroundings and your settings. Okay. Second thing, to step out of your comfort zone. So this was really brought up more because I saw a young lady, she posted on Facebook about dating. She was like, oh, she heard that it was short king season or short king summer. And I was like, short king? Now I'm always on TikTok. Okay. And I have been seeing that there is a hashtag trend, date short guys. Okay. Now, ironically, the person that I'm talking to is on the shorter side. Now, I'm 5'7". He claims he's 5'7", but I think he's like 5'6.5". But normally, I've dated guys who were 6 feet. The tallest that I've ever dated was 6'7", and no, he was not a basketball player. But I've always, for the most part, dated tall guys. And a lot of times, going back to those dating apps, the women that I either coach, and when I'm doing my workshops, and I ask them, all right, you going on dating apps? Do you put preferences? And they're like, yeah, I put guys who are, 5'10" and better, 5'10" and higher and taller. Stop, right? So the one thing that I can say goes hand in hand with the going outside. When you meet someone, you have an opportunity to have a connection. So I'll give you my example. When I saw the person that I'm dating, yes, it was obvious he's short, right? He was not 6 feet. He was not 6'7" like my exes, right? He was on the shorter side. But there was something about him. I was able to see his eyes. I was able to see him laugh. We were able to interact. So in that first 15 minutes, we were able to kind of get a feel for one another. It's harder for you to do that. So you can have a guy who is like pretty awesome. He's deep. He's dope. He's 5'5", but you're not even getting to him because you have already set your profile to say, only show me guys that are 5'10" and taller. So you're not seeing the dope dude who is your height. You're not seeing the dude who's like an inch shorter than you, and he is the person that's going to want to date you, that's going to want to court you, that wants to ultimately want to marry you. You're not going to see that because you have already put your stipulations. You told Facebook dating, BLK, Match.com, don't show me anyone that's shorter than 5'10". So you are now eliminating an entire pool of gentlemen. So I also want us to get outside of our comfort zone and saying that if you do have that mindset, if your mindset is, I don't want to date guys who are shorter than me, or I don't want to date guys that are my height, or I don't want to date guys that's less than 6 feet, I challenge you to, if you are going to stay on those dating apps, take those criteria off. Okay? Take it off. Get out your comfort zone. I guess I felt like God was preparing me for this because I met him in March. And I want to say like November of last year, I started talking to my sister more. My sister she's almost 6 feet. From the time that I can remember, my sister has always dated shorter guys. Like junior high school. So I was a little girl and I'm always seeing my sister with like a guy who's like 5'5", 5'4", 5'6". Never really dated anyone who's really tall. Hi, I don't know who this is, but how are you? Right? And so I started having conversations with her in November, December, and I'm just like, how do you date shorter guys? Like, because God was speaking to me. And I guess like God was saying, I'm going to see you someone who is going to be a little bit shorter, Tanisha, and I need you to be okay with this. So I'm asking her, and one thing that my sister said to me that really made a lot more sense, hi, Hakeem, she said, it's not really about you. It's about him. It's about the guy and his confidence, right? And I feel like when I'm watching the videos of the guys on TikTok, I'm seeing what she is saying. There are a lot of gentlemen who are on TikTok who are playing the victim role of like, nobody likes me. They don't want to date me because I'm short. And then when I'm speaking to the gentleman that I'm talking to, he told me, he was like, I've always dated taller girls. He actually told me that I was like on more of the shorter ends of the ones that he had dated. He's dated girls who are like almost 6 feet. So it's just like, wow, maybe she's right. It is about the confidence. It's about the guys that maybe they are afraid to approach taller women because they don't have that confidence. So it just gave me a lot to say, you know what? Men have this, they have a lack of confidence sometimes. And then women also have a lack of confidence. I know that for me personally, in my past, I did not want to date shorter guys because I've always been thicker, right? BBW, plus size, whatever you want to call it. I've always been thicker. And sometimes the guys that I used to meet when I was younger, who were my height a little bit shorter, they were skinny, like slim. Like if you just blowing them too hard, they might fall. So my insecurity was, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'm hugging a bag of bones, right? And so that made me not want to date them because I just felt like I'm big, you're skinny. And I remember my old best friend, he did see me with a guy and he was like this big. And my best friend said to me, and it was like in high school, he was like, oh my gosh, you guys look like a perfect 10. And that stuck with me because he was like, I'm round and he's skinny, and together we're a perfect 10. And that played on me for a very long time. So when I realized that, here I am years later. Well, I finished high school in 2001, and I'm still remembering this conversation that my old best friend said to me. So now I can say in 2022, I'm not insecure about dating someone. The person that I'm dating, if you were to see us out, he has his arm around my waist. I'm walking, it's a little hard to walk with my arm within his arm, but we make it work. And I don't feel any type of way. Even when the first day that we met at a party, at a day party, we danced. And I remember dancing and my arms being on his shoulder. And it didn't feel weird. It didn't feel like, why shouldn't we be doing this? So I challenge you, especially for the ladies, get out of that 5'10", better 6. He has to be 6 feet. Get out that, because that is going to really block you, right? And I'm not saying that you have to date someone who's going to be like 3 feet, even though that person could be your person. Like if you have Snapchat, I'm telling y'all, there is actually on Snapchat, there is, I forgot what they call it. Like I watch like the little shows. I don't know if anyone else does this. Please tell me I'm not the only person that watches those little shows on Snapchat. But it's like odd couples. And there will be odd couples that are, she's like, I'm 6 feet. And my boyfriend or my husband is, he's 3'5", and we're madly in love. And they have those kind of topics. That is something that if you are curious or you're trying to figure out, sometimes we're the ones that's blocking it. Hakeem said, interesting topic. Yes, it is very relevant. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants, they want to meet their person. But what if the person that God has for you is 5'5" and you're 5'9"? You have already eliminated. So I'm telling you, get out your comfort zone. Take away those height requirements. For the gentlemen who are insecure, let that go. Build that confidence. You are a king. I'm not even going to say short king. I'm not co-signing that. You are a king, period. And the woman that's going to see you, she's going to see you. And she's going to think that you are an incredible person, and your height is not going to be a topic. It's not going to be an issue. She's just going to see who you are. Okay. So that's the second thing that we need to do. Step out your comfort zone in dating. Some of you need to stop putting these requirements. The third thing that I was honestly encouraged is, some of us are afraid of dating people in other cities, right? And actually that's how I started this chapter in the book, right? Because I thought that's where God was taking me, step out of the land of familiar. So I'm just like, yes, some people, your person might not live in your state. They might not live in your city, right? I live in New York City. There are people that do not date anyone who does not live in the same borough, right? So our boroughs are like mini cities in New York City. And there are people who are like, yo, right? Yes, Hakeem, he said, everyone has a preference, but sometimes allow the universe to guide you to your perfect someone. Absolutely, right? So going back to the location, there are people who live in Brooklyn who will not date someone who lives in the Bronx, okay? There are people that live in Flatbush, Brooklyn, that will not date someone that live in Brownsville, Brooklyn, right? So for a lot of us, it's not even a different city. Some of y'all don't even want to date people outside of who lives on your block, who lives a train ride away. I've heard crazy things. If the Uber is more than $20, I can't date them. Like, so the land of familiar can really, it differs for everyone. Sometimes it really is, you're in New York, the person that you're dating is in LA, and that's the person for you. You have to make it work, right? If that's who God needs for you to be with, he will allow it to work. I watched the story this morning on TikTok, and it was a positive, and she was sharing, she was being true and her authentic. And she said, she was like, that's attracted to laziness. It is attracted to laziness, Hakeem, right? And she had said that the guy she was dating, it wasn't even, she said it wasn't a real big on distance. She said for her, it wasn't a problem, but for him, he said it was. So he didn't want to move forward in the connection because he felt like it would be too much work. It costs too much. And I understand if long distance it does become costly, then that is a concern. But y'all know me, I'm always about solutions. Okay. So if you don't have enough money to book that flight, then what can you do to make enough money every month to at least book that flight every month, right? Once a month to go see this person. So it's sometimes we put a lot of limitations. We just look at our dynamics right now. We check our checking account right now. But again, if God is saying that's your person, then God is going to give you the strategy so that you guys can have the resources to see one another, to make this work. Look at how people got real creative when COVID happened. People were doing online dates, right? So I actually watched a guy on Instagram. I think the video might be on TikTok too, but he had posted on Instagram. Him and his girlfriend, she lives in a different city, right? And they will both say, "Let's go out." He cashed apped her the money, so it's still like they were going out to dinner, but not together. And they had their phones, and they have it set up, and they're talking to one another on video chat. But he's at one restaurant in his city, she's at another restaurant in her city. And that's what they would do. And that's how they would have their virtual dates. Hakeem said you can meet in the middle. Absolutely. Right? So there are different ways. We have to stop allowing these things to keep us, because there are some of you that know someone who lives in a small city, in a small town, right? That has one road in and one road out. Think about how many people live in that one town. Do you really think that your person is there? That person might not be. There might be a person there for you, but that doesn't mean that that's the person for you. You get what I'm saying? There could be a person there for you. We can always make something work, right? We can force ourselves to make something work, but you're not going to be happy. So if you're that person that lives in that small town, that small city, and it's only about 5 single men, I think about, don't judge me, I love the Golden Girls, right? The TV show. And if you ever hear the story, the episode where Sophia spoke about how she ended up with her husband, she said, well, they always matched us up with the guy based off our heights. She said, so that's how she ended up with Sal. She was short, Sal was short. And that's how they ended up. You don't want that to be your story. They made that work, but that might not necessarily be your story, right? So make this work. Open up yourselves. Some of y'all need to go out and travel. Some people never leave their cities. Again, I live in New York City. I know people that have never left New York City. I know people that have never been to other parts of New York City. There are people that have never been to Long Island, never been to Westchester. So you got to get out your comfort zone, right? Get on the bus, get on the train. If you're afraid to fly, there are so many different ways, but don't allow yourself to get limited to the people that you're only surrounded by, because that's how we end up dating people at our jobs. That's how we end up dating people on our blocks, right? Hakeem said, pick a city state that is more or less evenly between. Absolutely, right? You can definitely make this work. I've never been personally in a long distance relationship, but I've heard success stories. I've seen people. But again, I think that as you are dating, you're getting to know one another. You ultimately do both have to make a decision of like, so where's this going to go? How will this actually work? Because I don't want us to get stuck into like dating someone long distance for like 10 years. Because I've seen that happen too, right? So you have to start figuring out. But again, get out your comfort zone. If you are single, like I said, I highlighted 3 things just from this one chapter in my book. Okay. First thing was find someone, and it's not going to be in the same order, but find someone, be open to dating people in other cities and states. Okay. The second thing is for my women, especially my women, you are stuck on this mindset of height, right? Oh, he has to be 6 feet. Throw that out the window. The person for you might not be 6 feet. Right. And I know that there are some women that are like, oh, wait, he's 5'11". And I mean, women are like that. He's 5'11". I can't date him because he's not 6 feet. Stop. Right. Stop. You might meet an extraordinary person who's going to be shorter than you. And that person is going to treat, like I said, I've been dating this person for almost 3 months. I go out. I'm always laughing. He's consistent. Phone calls every day, video chats every night. I have never had a moment where I'm like stuck and I'm lost and I'm like, what is going on here? And this person is not 6 feet and I'm happy. So you got to find what works for you. Allow yourself, open yourself, right? And then the first thing that I said, which is the last thing I'm going to say, is make sure that whatever your avenue of currently meeting people, if you're only meeting people on dating apps and it's not working out for you, then stop swiping. Get cute, get dressed, go outside. Go to the park. Go to the places that you enjoy, right? I'm going whale watching. Don't judge me, but I'm going whale watching on Sunday because I want to go whale watching. I love being on the water. So it's just like, why not? Right? Yes, I am dating someone, but I'm not in a committed relationship. I might meet someone there, right? Because this is something that I have interest in. So yes, I'm not going out with the intent of meeting someone, but I'm going out and I'm getting off the dating apps and just focusing on swiping left and right and making a judgment based off of, the criteria. I'm gonna give y'all a bonus one because God is just placing this on my heart too, and it has a lot to do with the person that I'm dating. The other thing about us is that we have a preference in age. Okay, so there are some people that will only date within a particular age group. All right. Now I am not 100% a fan of saying like I want to date a 21-year-old. Right. I'll be 38 this year. I personally, but that's my preference. If God was to push it on my heart, like stop, open yourself up. But I know women who are in my age group who won't date someone who's 35. Right. They won't date someone who's 33. And on the opposite side, right, I usually date older men. I know people that would not date someone that's, they're 38. They won't date someone who's 50. They won't date someone who's 45. They get really stuck into this age gap, right? So they're like, again, thinking about the dating apps. You go and you put your preference. All right, I want someone who is 6 feet. Only show me guys that are 36 through 40. Look at that gap. Yeah, a big city like New York City, you're going to probably get, a decent amount of men. But what is the quality that's going to come in that 6 feet, 36 to 40? You're not going to get a slew. Then if you think about the limitations of geographics of where the person lives, you live in Brooklyn. Oh, I only want to date somebody who lives in Brooklyn. Now you have made that. Do you see how you have reduced the amount of people that you are going to encounter? Now think about all those guys. There's half of them only want to have sex, right? And then another quarter of them don't want to take you out. So now you're left with a quarter of men, and sometimes they got a girlfriend, they got a secret life, they got like 15 kids. And I mean, there are men out here. I've dated someone when I met them. I'm gonna put this disclaimer out. When I met them, he had no kids. All right, but we're the same age. And this man is about to have 12 children. 12. 38 years old, about to have 12 children. Imagine him being on a dating app. And he's 6 feet. Okay? He's 38. You're going to meet him on a dating app. Do you want to date that? And I'm not saying 12 children by the same woman. Okay? So step out of your comfort zone. Find what works for you. Go a little bit younger. Go a little bit shorter. Maybe date somebody, who's 25 miles away versus only show me who's in 10 miles. And then the one thing, like I just said, go outside, go out, enjoy. It's the summertime. This is even the best time to go, right? Do different things. Groupon, meetup.com, right? A lot of Christians, I hear a lot of Christians always say that it's hard for them. Meetup has a lot of Christian-based social groups that you can find different things that you can do, right? So if you're a Christian and you really want to stick within that community and you don't want to date someone outside or, outside of the church, then find you a Christian-based book group. Find a Christian-based exercise group. They're on Meetup. All right, I've seen them. Meetup.com, Groupon. Find different things to do, activities, and just enjoy yourself. Okay. So I want us to enjoy our season of single. I want you guys to come online. I want you to come in my inbox and tell me about your amazing days, because I've been having some great, amazing days. Like I really have. And I want you to have the same experiences, because although it might not end up being in your happily ever after, we can get away from the mindset of negative, the mindset of All men ain't this. Dating is, has COVID, right? We start putting all of this and it goes out into the atmosphere and it goes out into the universe and everyone starts to believe it. And then the ones who are single are going to stay single. And believe it or not, I do believe that's the enemy's plan. He doesn't want us to have marriages. He doesn't want us to be in healthy relationships. So if we're constantly scrolling, you're only seeing negativity, then you're going to start to believe that negativity. So if you get off the phone, if you get off of social media for a couple of hours and go outside and do different things and start encountering and engaging with different people, you're going to start to have, your spirit's going to start to uplift. You're going to start having that positive energy, that positive vibe. And then people are going to start to resonate and gravitate to you. And then that's when you're going to start seeing and meeting guys and women who want to do things with you, who want to call you and say, hey, you want to go out for a walk, you want to go and get some ice cream, you want to go have brunch, like want to go to the movies. Some of y'all haven't been to the movies because you're waiting for someone to take you to the movies. Well, you may have to go to the movies first, because there are single men and single women who are at the movies also looking, right? So I just want to encourage you. So if you don't have a copy, Dear Single in Love is available on Amazon. It is a paperback and it's also an ebook, so you can definitely get it. If you want an autographed copy, I do have a few hard copies left. I just put an order in for some more. So if you do want an autographed copy from yours truly, inbox me and I can send you the invoice and you could pay, and I will definitely send it out to you. But I am Tanisha Shanee, Miss Inspiration. Guys, have an amazing day. Share this video. It will stay up. All right. I love you guys. Be well. Be great.